it's Miles with Champion Garage, and we're at a final episode of our How to Start Your Garage business. This episode is mainly going to be about tools, some that I deem to be necessary to get the job done, and we're going to showcase some of those. If you want to see any videos regarding the tools that's in this video and more detail, just let me know. This is just going to be some of the tools that I use on a pretty regular basis. So we're going to start by looking at the tool carts first. The tool carts that you see behind me are one. I need to get another one just like this one. This is a 34-inch wide tool cart from Harbor Freight, and again, I see no need, unless you need a tax deduction, in spending big money. $5,000 toolboxes, $2,500 toolboxes, when the toolboxes behind me do get the job done. Are they the highest quality in the world? No, but they're not too bad either. These are U.S. General tool carts, or mobile tool chest, I think is what this one's called, and that one's the tool cart. The tool cart obviously has got room below, a little bit lighter material than the actual tool chest itself, but I use this for my electrical tools and then, you know, that sort of thing. And during the summertime use, I use it also for my AC. So when looking at tools, some of the things I think of first is sockets. If you want to save money out the gate, I just recommend you get you a socket set, whatever brand of your choosing. Again, look at money and you build off of that. I bought, at the time I started out young, and I think my first set of tools was a Napa set, and to be honest with you, to this day I still have them. Are they the best wrenches out there, best sockets out there? No, but they have given me a lot of use throughout the years, and they've done me well. Have I adapted to them later on through the years? Yeah. But so, you know, right out the gate, my opinion is go somewhere such as Lowe's or that sort of thing and just buy you a generic set. Again, I'd say that everybody that's going to watch this business or video has already got a good idea of what it takes to make it in the industry. Most people out there are not just going to start their own shop without having a little bit of experience under them. They most likely are working in a field such as I did, so you most likely have the tools. However, you know, if you were like I did and borrow tools off of fellow technicians from time to time just because it would save you some money starting out, remember, in this field, obviously at starting your own shop, most likely you're going to start by yourself. You're not going to have that capability. So look at buying a set, things that you need to get started. That being said, my opinion, starting out, looking at, what type of tools you're going to need. I do recommend when it does come to something such as electric impacts, probably Milwaukee is who I'm going to recommend. I do have a Snap-on here. I know that the new models are better, but I'm still a Milwaukee fan, and I will buy Milwaukee in the future when it comes to the electric tools. I think they're a better tool. This one right here, at the cost of this tool, was nowhere near what a Milwaukee was at the time, and I probably still see it that way. As far as impacts go, when it comes to electric impact, probably Milwaukee. When it comes to air, honestly, probably the Harbor Freight. It is so impressive what the Harbor Freight air guns will do, and a lot of people might talk trash about that, and they might not be as a good quality, but at the cost, you cannot beat these. These are a very strong gun, and so definitely need something like I said in regards to that. Now, going through this, a lot of these things I have acquired, and we're going to start with looking at things such as our wrenches. This is a Blue Point flexible end ratcheting wrench, and these I have used so much, and that's what this video is going to be about, is what I use really regular. Most of the time, you're going to see me using something like this. You know, I use this tool absolutely every single day in my work. It's got a nice little light on it, and it does illuminate very well in dark spaces where you can't get your light. You know, it was Milwaukee. The only thing I didn't like about this tool is, I don't know if you can see that. I can't get really my camera to focus, but from the factory, those were missing. I need to get Milwaukee to fix that. So I use that on an everyday basis. Where I can't get that tool, a lot of times like a ratchet or something, these right here, you know, and these are Blue Point, you know, flexible end, ratcheting, you know, double way. It's got a, you know, it's not like the gear wrench where you have to flip it. You know, these have the capability switch. I have used these so much, and again, they are a little bit more expensive because they are Blue Point, but you do get the lifetime warranty with these. So I use them. And then also with wrenches, I think it's really good as you do acquire new tools. And I wouldn't do these with a snap-on or something like that, but a lot of times I have to make wrenches. You know, that is welded. But look, I mean, I don't know, you can't see that. It says made in China. I don't even know what the brand is. This one was a Taiwan. So, you know, this right here I used to take off a bolt on a Corvette. To get up there on the exhaust manifold or something. It was O2 sensor. I couldn't get it loose, so I had to make a tool. I have a drawer back behind me. You can see the Vidmar right here, about the fourth drawer down, is a drawer full of just basically extra wrenches. You know, that I don't use, and that is, and they do have a big set of wrenches in there that I use from time to time, but mainly it's just like leftover wrenches and maybe non-matching set stuff I've just acquired over the years. Pawn shops are good for this. Just finding some random stuff to acquire at a very cheap price, because you're going to end up doing things such as this. So my recommendation to you is, you know, you're gonna wind up doing that. Here's a Craftsman wrench. It's been cut off. There's many cases where I do that. A good set of open end wrenches are good. You know, that sort of thing you run into. Okay, looking on in my drawers. You don't have to go with T-handles, but T-handles are great. I use these a lot. Metric and standard are available. Not only that, but they have these in Torx. This is a Snap-on brand. I really, really like these. The blue ones are metric, the red ones are standard, and then you have the green ones, which are Torx. Love them. However, I'll also use these probably more than I use the T-handles. This is the Snap-on socket driver set, and this has, as you can see, an assortment of Torx, Allen, and I forgot what they call these. That's kind of like a style of Torx, or I don't know if you can see that. I really like these. I haven't really used them, but another thing, I break them a lot, and because I get them in a tough situation, and when I do, I can get me new ones. Okay, moving on with the ratcheting things. Some sort of torque wrench you're going to need. I don't like there is two types of mechanics. Some that'll tighten things. I'll tell you what, when you're getting on engine hardware, it is so easy to bust or break or anything, plastic intake manifolds or snap the bolts and that sort of thing. It's just best to use a torque wrench. You know, there's many different options out there when it comes to torque wrenches, but I really like the Snap-on torque wrenches. I've had this one for a lot of years, and probably would recommend starting out with a 3/8 instead of the 1/2-inch drive. When I bought this tool, I was again in the tractor industry, so I needed this a lot. But if you're doing anything with engine building, the 1/2-inch drive is going to have a little bit more leverage, and not only that, you know, there is a lot of higher torque specs out there for those sorts of things. Now, right now I'm just using an older cheap torque wrench, and it's not the best. It's probably not calibrated, but it gets you close. It's pretty nice. Not only that, but it's good to have something that does inch pounds as well. So are you gonna have them all up front? Probably not, but it's a handy tool. Okay, now moving on, I'm gonna look at these pliers. I love these. These are Matco. You don't have to go with Matco, but these are basically the squeeze type hose clamps, and I'm gonna tell you, they work. I don't necessarily like the bigger version as well. I have the bigger version of these, and I don't like these. I don't know, maybe it works on a radiator hose better, but like any heater hose, I wish I really had another one of these. I have a regular, like your vice grip style. You can also get these, but I'm telling you, a lot of times when you get into the hose clamps and that sort of things, you know, or not hose clamps, but hoses, I'm telling you, you save a lot of money with these, because the thing about, you know, coolant, unless you're going to flush it, you know, at the end of the day, the customer is paying for that. So if you can save them money, I'm telling you, your integrity, or the things that your customers see that you're doing is really going to make it better for you in the long run. They're going to appreciate what you do for them to try to save them money. And I'm going to showcase a couple tools in this too, just main tools so I can maybe talk over to them. But I really like this air gun here, and it's really dirty. Looking at it now, I just got my hand really dirty messing with it here. But you know, this tool right here, I use it a lot. It's also Snap-on. Again, you don't have to run with Snap-on on something like this, but I do recommend some sort of air nozzle. I use this a lot, so I would recommend that. Now, that being said, with the lighting situation, I have a portable light here, also from Snap-on. Very light, as you can see, very bright, and if I'm not mistaken, it gets brighter. I just looked at it, that was a mistake. There you go. And I can't, like I said, I looked at it, it's really bright. It's magnetic base, it swivels. You need some sort of light in this work field. It's rechargeable. You don't have to go with Snap-on. There's a lot of different people out there. I really do like this light. The only problem I have with it is its magnetic base. The little sticker peels off. So you run into that when you get into greasy situations. Okay, you know, so you need a good light. There's all types of diagnostic tools that you need as well. I ain't gonna show them all. I bought this one from Matco a while back. This is the basically the fuel diagnostic kit. And you know, fuel diagnostic, sometimes you can get a reading with your scanner, but a lot of older stuff, you know, you have to get in to, you know, manual testing. And so a good fuel pressure gauge is great. I really like this one. I like that it's a complete kit. I use this pretty regular on old stuff with fuel diagnostics, you know. New stuff, not so much, because again, I have the scan tool. Okay, more special tools, you know, obviously you need some sort of puller. This is about as cheap as a puller as you can get. This is, I think, one of the Harbor Freights, or not Harbor Freights, I'm sorry, O'Reilly's. It's just an EverTough, but you're gonna run into many times where you're gonna have to have a puller. And again, as a reminder, as you go through this video, there's so many things that you're gonna acquire over time. You don't have to start out with this, but you're gonna run into this, you know, starting out, okay, I need this. All right, let's budget for that. Let's budget for tools. Getting started, again, you're not gonna have the most money starting out. But after you build your tools and build what you need, it's then where the revenue is generated. And so you're gonna look at that, you know, that first 2 years, be dedicated, be patient, and it is gonna pay off in the long run. Picks, love them. Icon, okay? They're a little expensive. I love these things. I mean, look at that set. I mean, they're not real expensive. I think I get 50 bucks for these. I've also got the small pick set. I've got Snap-on picks. You know, these are for like radiators. I've used these for everything. I've used these to pull connectors loose, in a hard to reach place where it has that hook. I can really get up there and kind of fish that out. I've used these for, well, I mean, they've even got that style of hook. You can reach in a heater core, right in your heater core and kind of work that around, pull that off. Man, I tell you what, you'd be surprised. And I look at these tools and I say, man, I didn't know really how, if you don't have those tools, how hard it makes it on yourself. I remember the days when I was using screwdrivers. These picks are so handy. Looking into like electrical tools, I've got over here, I've got some things to make like electrical repairs. I don't recommend just the old plain butt connectors that you get from uptown, just the ones that you don't have heat shrink in and or any solder. I don't like personally using solder. When I was at John Deere, the recommendation with us was going to these new butt style connectors where you crimp them on, and you heat them. Again, probably a better torch. Don't buy this one. It's pretty junk. It gets me by, but I mean, it's pretty terrible. It's a PT, so obviously it's from O'Reilly's, but it got me by. I need to buy a better one. This is garbage. But you need a torch for like heating wires. Here, this is a Klein Tool strippers. I've got other strippers over there. The Klein Tool strippers, I really like them. I've used them a lot. And then, I don't know, to be honest with you, this says Packard Electrical. I use these to crimp my butt connectors. And I have used these for years. If anybody wants these or wants to know where I got them, I can give you a part number on the back of them. But I mean, those are great. Look at those jaws on that. And I normally crimp my butt connectors with that just final jaw. And I rotate them 90 degrees when I put them in. Really like these tools. I know that I've mentioned this maybe in prior videos. I think I talked about the dial calipers. Pretty handy tool too. Use them. Again, I think this is El Cheapo. But I mean, there's so many times where you have to use that to measure something. For example, I was using that one day. I was running into issues getting a bearing for my Bronco, and there's two different front end sizes on that. There was a Dana 28, I think a Dana 30, something like that, 33. And so they're just slightly different, and you need to know. When you call, instead of running back and forth between town, you need to call them and say, here's the measurement, here's what I've got, if you can't get a bearing number or that sort of thing. So you run into that. Continuing on, looking over here, I'm going to actually rotate. I rotate my camera here. What I want to show you now is these little tools here. Again, Snap-on. You don't have to go with these. Don't have to go with Snap-on. I'm sure somebody probably makes these for Snap-on. I'm not sure. I like tools that are bright. Might make mention of that. You don't lose them as easy. These are those little plastic rivet pullers. Love them. I use this one more than anything, probably more than these others. I don't think there's much angle difference between those. It's just kind of how they cut, Love these. I use these so much, especially on late model vehicles. Okay, next thing I've got here is an air hammer. A lot of times you can get it out. That being said, this, you got to have that. You just really can't get by without the torch set. It is so needed in a shop. Heat, you don't understand how much you can work yourself to death. That being said, look, does your customers want to pay for that? You can work yourself to death with one of these, and you might have to combine them. But a lot of times now, it's not this that will get it. It takes both of them to do that. Okay, that being said, I want to show you another tool just acquired here recently. This is the Blue Point 4-in-1 brake press caliper. This is a very handy tool. May showcase you using this. The nice thing about this is it's got that ratcheting built-in. Obviously, I've not got it in a caliper, but now it pushes this out. The piston on the caliper, and if you've got a stuck caliper, by using C-clamps, you really can't feel that like you can in this. And so you can say, well, now, hey, the caliper's stuck. we need to be replacing that or that sort of thing. But now here we are. This is a very nice tool, and they make them smaller if you've just got something maybe a little less clearance than what this one allows. You can see that it's quite large, but this will get the majority of your brakes. Another tool, diagnostic tool wise, and that's what we're going to kind of showcase now. ThinkCar makes these. This is a smoker, and it hooks up to your batteries. It has a kit full of stuff that you can kind of plug to different ports. This can check like leaky evap systems. It can check vacuum leaks. Those are a pain to find. It can check for boost leaks. I used it actually this week. I use this a lot. The nice thing about this is it doesn't tell you, but you can use baby oil with this. So this is a baby oil machine. I would give $300 for this machine. It's worked great for me so far. That being said, the same tool at Snap-on is above $1,000. So shop around. Try to find stuff that's reliable. Try to find stuff that you need, I guess you could say, and for a reasonable price. Now, speaking of reasonable prices, the next thing I'd like to show you is multimeters, and you've got two options here. I'm sorry, one's strung out everywhere. I didn't put it back together. I've got two multimeters before me, and these multimeters here, starting with the Fluke. I use this Fluke for a lot of years. And you can tell by looking at it, it's been through the ringer. The old, the old stand in the back is, it's broken off at this point. You can see that. It's getting pretty nasty, but still works, has the digital display. It's auto ranging. It has also, you can't really see that. It's not, but it has the light built in. It's got the ability to test amps just as this does. Continuity, it's got ohms readouts, millivolts, and AC, DC. It's also got hertz, it's got the ability to check diodes, capacitance, and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of things this will do. Do not degrade this tool. Oh, it's not this. Don't get me wrong, this new Snap-on digital multimeter, but at the cost difference. Did I start out with this? No, I did not. This was something I use a lot. And so this had some more capabilities for me. I had the ability to read temperature and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of things this has the capability of doing. Multimeter is something that I highly recommend. To be honest with you, you got to have it. Now, looking at the next tool, what type? Do you have to start out with this? No. And did I? Absolutely not. Did not start out with the Snap-on D10 or Zeus. There's a Zeus out there and there's a new Zeus. But I'm going to tell you, I love this tool. I use it almost every day. And you know what I love about it? It makes me money. When I hook up to this tool, I have a diagnostic, fee for this. And not only that, it really has a lot of capabilities, and again, I can showcase this in the future. Now, a lot of jobs too that you're going to run into, you're going to need some sort of recovery machine. It depends on what you're looking to get into. Are you looking to get into AC work? That sort of thing. But heater cores, anything within the AC, you need to get a certification, but this recovery machine is mobile, so if you're looking to get maybe into mobile type things, you can get you one of those. Now that one's kind of expensive, but it's again done me everything I need done. I think at around $1,200, $1,300, and you got to have a tank and that sort of thing. So I use that a lot, and it saved the customers a lot of money because now legally you can't vent that into the air. Although people do, you're not supposed to, and you can get some pretty serious penalties. There's where the shade tree mechanic thing, you're really not a shade tree mechanic, you are. So you're now looking at the Stratus 14,000 pound two-post lift. They are extendable arms on the lift. And I highly recommend having a lift in your shop. But as we've mentioned in previous videos, there is things that you
do run into when it comes to installing the lift, the electrical side of things, and then also the depth of the concrete. Be careful. If the concrete's not at depth, and when you put your anchors in and you blow through the bottom of the concrete, what you can run into is very, very shallow anchoring in your concrete. But this lift here has really saved me a lot of money. I have done things so much faster, so much easier, so much less wear and tear on my body, and highly recommend it. You're now looking at the Vulcan welder from Harbor Freight. It is a very nice welder in my opinion. It is a 220 welder with spool gun capabilities. You can get one welder more expensive, I guess you could say, than this welder. This welder here has the capability of, again, doing regular MIG welding up to 020, I think. I can't really remember. We can showcase that. So the thicker gauge, you can go with a heavier gauge. I think right now I have it at 030. But I have been more than satisfied with the welder and all of its capabilities so far, and highly recommend it rather than maybe going with a Miller. I had just acquired the Ingersoll Rand 60-gallon air compressor. Very pleased with it. It is more than capable of doing anything that I do in my shop. I have really enjoyed what it has done for me the past little bit. Started out with the little old cheap Harbor Freight, and now have upgraded this and more than been pleased.
Video, and hopefully it's been informative to you. Hopefully it will help you and encourage you to get started on your business. Is it every tool that you're going to need? Absolutely not. It's not even close. There's so many more tools out there that you're going to run into, and that's why I think it's important to, as you go into this, to look at, my opinion, just don't start out the gate in your own shop. You need to have some good experience, and and it helps that cost being offset if you have some of these things already acquired when you get started. But these are some things, again, I think that will help you, some things that's helped me increase productivity, which in turn, I'm not going to be the cheapest in town, but with these sorts of things, I can get the job done at a faster rate at the shop time that I am charging, and ability to charge that rate that I am charging, and you will get the good work with those sorts of things. And there's some things with these tools that I have that maybe some others do not have, that you're going to be able to say, I'm going to be able to say with a surety, this is what it is, instead of just replacing parts. Is the caliper really hung, such as the 4-in-1 brake caliper tool? Without that tool, it's going to take a little bit of trouble, troubleshooting, a little added time. So I hope that, again, the video has helped. There's so many other tools that I've got, and I'll probably showcase them. If you see something in this video and you're like, I want to see that work, I want to see how you use that tool, this is going to be opening the door to a lot of that. So encourage you all to start your own business. Again, this being the final of this series. Don't let people tell you no. Don't let people tell you you can't, because you can. With the Lord's help, that's who's helped me. He's continued to put food on my table. He's continued to help me spread the word. And I'd like to just give him all the glory. He's given me the ability to fix things. So I'm thankful for that. And again, he is all I give all the credit to the Lord, because without him, I'm nothing. So I just want everybody that watches these videos to understand that, and like all these videos, I want you to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the little notification bell so you get these videos and they're coming to you. The next videos are going to be a lot shorter than these, and they're going to showcase specific tools. So we might showcase this lift or another tool as I use it. And appreciate you all tuning in, and the many good things that the encouragement that you've given me so far. I've got a lot of people that's called me and really like the video. So appreciate you. We'll see you the next time.